scientific breakthroughs, the unveilings, spiritual revelations, the openings. Hijacking the mind, aluminum bonds with intelligence. Rewind the message. Merry Christmas. 13 indigenous immigrants, states of the unison, addressing nothing. Foundations can ruin, level to level. Fuck the embezzle, mix tales from the crypt, hitting blood rituals. 50 skulls flying over California on a vacation. Flying dragons, swords and daggers, lions and tigers. Gotta get my bearings of average. Into raw flesh, vampire, vegetarian. I'm a malnutrition, chemically imbalanced. Ethiopian, inhaling Kush. Blue projects get pushed, mold with the bush. Standing on the middle line, no defining. Swirling dervish, in between space and time. Tips and Trikz Tuesday, another news day. Northeast, west, southwest, not here to confuse the day. Just abuse the way. Another Tips and Trikz Tuesday. Tips and Trikz Tuesday, another news day. Northeast, west, southwest, not here to confuse the day. Just abuse the way. Another Tips and Trikz Tuesday.
Whether you suffer from pain in your back to aches in your knees, come on down and purchase you some ancestral tea to get rid of all the parasites, toxins, and fleas. Spiritual elevation for cosmic gravitation. So put away the patience, cause there's no time to be wasted. That's all you need. All rights are reserved. Peace.
All right, let's see. Give thanks. Yes, indeed, it is another Tips and Trikz Tuesday. Black at it. It's your host for this Tuesday evening, Blackwater, the Meta Magician. I'm here once again, going to spit on some, not spit on it, but you know we're gonna build on a little information on KA-RAS, I guess you could, or Christmas, but not really gonna go too deep into that. You know what I'm saying? Basically, we're gonna talk about that for a few minutes and then go back into the Gung work. We're in part 3, so we're about like 3/4 into it, 75% into it. A little bit left on top of what we've been bridging together with the yoga, watch this in me twice, and meditations. So I'm gonna bring some tips and tricks to the table today as well. A few tips and tricks pertaining to the season we're going into, winter. We Neter. We are the Neter. But give thanks first and foremost to those who came before and those who will come behind, those who will come after. Give thanks to First World Order family, Dr. Alim and Sister Kadira, Jamal out there, Brother Jamal. Everybody out there, all the brothers and sisters, you know what I'm saying, we doing our thing. Keep it elevating, keep it moving. You know, it's been a couple weeks since I last appeared on Blog Talk or YouTube Live, whatever, or just, you know, corresponded through these modalities right here. I know, you know, I try to stay as much unplugged as possible. I try to stay unplugged as much as possible, you know. But all in all, you know, we gotta still communicate on this level when we can, and because sometimes, you know, we might not be touching on those airways, the mental waves, all the time. But you know, try to keep that in there too with this work. I just got in like 15 minutes ago. Wasn't going to really do Blog Talk tonight or get on YouTube Live tonight. Like I said, I bypassed the Blog Talk a couple of weeks ago because something was wrong with my computer, but I think it's back up and running. I wasn't even planning on doing that, so this is going to be real freestyle, somewhat like that, because I got a few notes, not really, but I'm just going to speak on KA-RAS or Christmas a little bit, and then we're going to go back into the movements and a few tips and tricks and stuff like that. So, what the purpose of me wanting to do this is not really just how the spirit moves. You know, the intelligence moves in a certain way. So I went to pick up my computer today. I dropped it off because something was going off with it. Something was going off with it. Really, it was going off. It's like, I ain't even gonna go into the whole story, but I'll give thanks. You know, the family, Dr. Alim and Kadir, give thanks. They are very understanding. I really appreciate it. I love you guys because, you know, you open the door for a lot of us out here to do things that we have a passion for, and that we that's helping us grow and helping others also grow and elevate. You know what I'm saying? And you know, doors are opening for us and opening up. I know doors are opening for you too, and it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful transition that I noticed you guys going through, as well as myself and others around. We just keep going up, you know what I'm saying? Keep moving up. Your house is beautiful. I don't know if everybody, but their house is beautiful. They just got a new house, and wow. When I went, I was like, Lord have mercy. It's like the White House or something. It's beautiful, but at any rate, give thanks to the brothers and sisters for giving us this venue right here, this avenue to continue with the work, you know what I'm saying? Continue with the upliftment of humanity and bringing some light to a somewhat dismal situation. Not really, but you know, it's life. You know what I'm saying? There ain't no dark side or bad or light side is all in all. You know, it's overall everything. Everything is everything. All right. So the reason, or we won't call it a reason, the reason for the season, but the reason behind me going to bring this KA-RAS to the table, I was dropping off my computer, picking up my computer earlier today, and someone that while I was in there, someone came in, and they know me, you know, somewhat, and they know certain things about me anyway. They might not know me completely, but they probably got to know me after this conversation. But at any rate, okay, so she was telling me all different things about herself, like her dreams and certain things that happened. You know, she saw a couple of people with black eyes, their eyes are turned black. You know, this is a church-going lady. She's in her 60s, you know what I'm saying? She was telling me about how she passed out a few times, how she sees mist over people, and sometimes she sees it early in the day when she wakes up. She'll see a mist in her house, and even her daughter had seen the mist and things. Like, why is that mist over you like that? That's what her daughter asked her, and she's like, you see it too? But so we got to a conversation about that. Then she was telling me about a dream she had about a book and everything, and she was saying it correlated to the book of life and all that. And so she asked me if I believed in Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior, and that I believe in God. Basically, she asked me if I believe in God, and I was like, well, I know God. I was like, you know, to know something, you have to experience it. So believing it has a lie in the middle of it. So it's like BLAK or whatever. So when, pardon me, fam. So when she said that did I believe in God? I was like, I know God. I was like, so when it's sort of like driving a car. You don't necessarily, you can say you know how to drive a car, but until you experience driving a car, we ain't knowing how to drive that car. We just, going off of pretty much a belief or a faith that I can drive the car. But until you get behind the wheel of that thing and experience what it is to drive the car, you can't literally say, yeah, I know how to drive the car. So when she said, do you believe in God? I was like, nah, I know God. I experience God. I understand what God is and everything. So she was like, do you believe in the Lord Savior Jesus Christ? So I was like, I know Jesus Christ or whatever for that, in that manner for myself. And then she was like, well, do you believe he came in the flesh and died on the cross? I said, see, that's a storyline right there that we have been told over time, pretty much something that has infiltrated our conscious and the conceptions of what we know to be truth. Our subconscious now is fighting back somewhere. It's like a battle between a subconscious state and a conscious state to regain or reinitiate the truth, and place all the half-truths. But we got into a conversation about the subject of Christ and everything. And, I spoke on Osiris and Isis. And then I spoke on, I was like, the story about that. She said, yeah, I remember that story. And then I was like, well, the sun was called Haru. And then so we talked about Haru, and I was like, well, Haru means light. And I said, well, what did they say? Jesus is the light, the way, truth and all that. So then I mentioned how Isis and Osiris is symbolic of Joseph and Mary. Mary, KA-RAS mouse. But then she was like, okay. Then she was starting to think. She was no longer caught in the bubble of someone else thinking for her. I mean, even though I'm giving her information, she started to contemplate on this thing, like, hold on. But then, we started talking a little bit more, and she started talking about the book of life and all this other stuff that was in the dream. So I related it to light, and I also related to the DNA and genetics. And I just started breaking it down subtly for somewhat. As she spoke, I just, pretty much rebranded what she was saying, because she already know it, but she knows it in another certain knowledge or another certain manner. So, and I gave it to her in I guess an esoteric sense, and it really amplified her thought. She gave me a hug and thanked me on the way out. Try not to give too much too fast. You don't want to overfeed someone; they might explode. But basically, yeah, they do say the same thing, and that's all it is. It's just a copy of ancient story. It's a storyline. It's just like all movies, You can't really change you can change the movie, you can change the actors, all that, but it's always gonna be what in the movie, a hero, a Haru. Basically, and the storylines are always going to be based on some type of traumatic events and all this other stuff going up to the point to where the climax get there, and then, we go into where the hero saves everybody or whatever's going on, something, what I'm saying? But yeah, so all these storylines and all these things, even with media, I like social media. I call social media social comedians, because it's like they're looking for some type of agreement or some type of acceptance and approval through feedback mechanism. We get online and on social media networks, and we want a reaction, and we're waiting for this reaction. I found myself doing it for a while too with Facebook and all that back in the day. That's why I cut my Facebook off about 4 or 5 years ago. I haven't had one since, but I would always want to put my little story on there or chat or whatever it's called. I can't recall, but I do remember I would wait around for the feedback, for comments. I'm like, oh, well, I wonder what somebody said about what I said earlier. You know what I'm saying? Then I was like, hold on, I'm becoming attached to this thing. I practice, you know, a certain type of philosophy where we want to be detached to a certain degree, you know what I'm saying? Because we need that energy later on. We may find ourselves without that vitality. But so we ended up, you know, part ways and everything. And I was like, man, I'm gonna have to do a little blog talk. I mean, we'll get on here and speak on a touch, not too much, but because we didn't speak on this, me and the female, me and the queen. But basically, when we talk about Christmas or KA-RAS, as we look at the word KA-RAS, we are speaking in another language, KA-RAS, of course, as Neter Uah, ancient dialect. I'm gonna have to get close. I don't have my glasses right now. Hold up. But this, I'm reading comments or something, I guess, that, hold on 1 minute. All right. Peace, everyone. All right, so we speaking on that, and I was like, KA-RAS. So KA-RAS is equivalent to, of course, Ka, spirit, Ras means to rise, and Mas, family or children. All right, so the spirit rising, family, so the family of the spirit rising, children of the spirit rising. Remember, who are the children of the spirit rising? It's pretty much everybody, everything, you know. I mean, everything has spirit basically because it has conscious. Yet, when we overlook, hold up, pause yourself. Yeah, I went into it right there. It's all good. When we don't acknowledge the spirit that's within all things, then we lose place. We become complacent, so we lose place of our inheritance, basically, and that's when that 99.999% of our DNA or whatever that's unused, the so-called unused, is still it doesn't unfold or it doesn't enhance properly, because we are now looking at a physical reality and saying that's all there is. So this thing that we participate with, called Christmas, or this activity, this event, it is a go-between who we are spiritually, intelligence, you know, as far as we are through the breath, because me and the queen, we spoke on that too. And I mentioned how they reworded, where, you know, a lot of the things in the biblical sense has been reworded from ancient dialects, like Hebrew, the word ruach, or ruach, meaning breath, now is spirit, which means breath as well. So when she was asking about, is she demonic because she sees these eyes? Because she went to a preacher, and the preacher was like, don't tell nobody else about this stuff, because you know this, they might think it's evil. He was thinking it was evil, you know, basically, because she was like, you the first person that, you know, ain't say I was weird or strange, and actually had some type of advice for it, you know. And I told her to acknowledge her gift and embrace it, basically. You know, if you are seeing these things, it's for a reason. And she was like, is it because of the end of time and Jesus is coming back? I didn't want to laugh, but I was like, no, it's no. Time is an illusion, you know. And I broke it down to a certain degree to her, how time is an illusion, and it's based on our perception and how we look at the clock. You know, if we didn't have a clock to look at, all we would look at is the what? Sun. You know what I'm saying? So I spoke on how we now are presenting ourselves, or we look at this thing, S-U-N, and we see it, but we don't acknowledge it for its worth, as far as it being a life orb to the planet Earth, as it corresponds to us below. So we started talking about that. I just briefly said it went from S-U-N to S-O-N. And O-N is actually a Greek word that also means sun, from the word Anu, that means sky or sun as well. Anu, in representation of the ancient city in Egypt, or Kemet. but yeah, so we went into it a little bit, and you know, next thing you know, she was like, wow. So, you know, we've been led to believe a certain type of methodology or mentality from our ancient school of thought, which was, you know, pretty much flipped around, and then, you know, the half-truths was introduced to us, and now we, as a people, collectively, especially in America, and especially so-called black people or African Americans, indigenous people, believe that we were slaves. They believe all type of, you know, that they believe that we, you know, came over here on boats and stuff and all these different things. But these are all beliefs, and there's a lie in belief. Remember, so we finished out the thing, the whole thing. You know, like I said, she was ready. She hugged me and she was like, "Wow," you know. But KA-RAS means children of the spirit, or children of the rising spirit. And what's the rising spirit? So we just look at these right here. Of course, you know, I'm always bringing up a picture somewhere. So if we look at this picture, of course, what we're seeing or what we're looking at is a Christmas tree for one. But also we're looking at the tree of life, so-called tree of life, and we're looking at the tree of life as far as is concerned in Kabbalah. But what we also are looking at is, I didn't put this up, but I'm gonna bring it up real quick. It won't take but a second. I got 1,000 of them, so just briefly bear with me. Like I said, I just got in, so I ain't putting nothing together for this this ep. So I'm coming off the top a little bit. But hold up, bear with me. Let me get this picture. Really don't know how to get it. I don't really know how to get a picture. Okay, I got myself right here. So yeah. So we look at that right there, and then we look at this. Well, you know. So we're looking at me, right? As far as in meditation. So if we're in meditation or whatever, I got my shoes on. I just like it, yeah. Just keep it back. So we're in meditation, and we're sitting there. You got the base of the tree, and you got the tree going up, right? So we're in the meditation posture. And go back to Christmas tree. What's at the bottom of the Christmas tree? Gifts. What's the gifts? You know, this material world basically. Floating down from the spiritual world, which will be at the top of the Christmas tree where that star is. Pineal gland, if we want to, you know what I'm saying? Also the top of the tree of life is oh boy, the El-Bey basically, but also why did that just slip my mind? Keter. Alright, so Keter is at the top, which basically means light. And El-Bey means Lord of the Perfect Darkness. So Keter, at the top is light. And then you have that light or that star at the top as well, depicting the sun or whatnot. So the sunlight. But you see how zigzagging, that's that Kundalini energy going up the tree. From the bottom or the base of the tree, the manifestations of the physical world, genitals or the sexual organs producing from our energy or sexual energy, the material world. And those that know this will stimulate that in a manner to where what is being manifested is more so for the detriment in place of the upliftment. And because that's, you know, that fear stuff to be going on. I haven't watched the news in the past couple of weeks, so I don't really know what's kicking like that to talk about. So we ain't gonna really be talking about a lot of stuff that's going on in the news. Just we're gonna be building on this pretty much. Well, not that much, but like I said, tips and tricks. I'm trying to keep all of it together in my head. I wrote down a few notes so I remind myself as we go. All right, so the gifts. or, you know, like I told her, I was like, you know, you got to acknowledge your gifts, embrace it, embrace that tree. You know what I'm saying? Embrace yourself, embrace what you have, you know what I'm saying, you always had, you know, and unlock it. In her sleep state, in her unknowingness, you know what I'm saying, she goes and runs to a preacher for answers, and the preacher shoots her back down and tells her to keep that stuff to herself, you know, and don't vent, which is not it's not wise sometimes. Sometimes you do need someone to talk to about certain things so they can enhance it and bring it out properly, you know, to the right person, you know what I mean, someone that is competent enough to not give you more things that's going to bring about animosity within self that could lead to another state of depression or oppression or suppression of one's own mind. So that tree of life right there, zigzagging up, you know what I'm saying, same as our energy, the spiraling energy going back up to the top, and the gifts all the way around, you know, the ornaments, you know what I mean, different organs and all that that's within, that's also a part of that aura or that electromagnetic field, the bioelectromagnetic field, whatever we may want to call it, that is forever expanding, you know, and that is coming in and going out at all times, as above, so below, you know, those two triangles that combine, one flowing from the base, one flowing from the tip or the apex of the top of the brain or the cranium, and as they mesh or blend together and unify, those two somewhat what we would call opposite are now corresponding and connecting with each other and uniting. Alright, so that's the tree of life, and that's the Christmas tree. And then there's you know, like we sitting in meditation. So the base down here, the base root chakra, the gifts, you know, coming forth from into the material world. Then as the energies go up and come down, meets in the center and all that, and connects, and then we have the spiritual or the immaterial and the material worlds connecting as one, and that is the children of the rising spirit, KA-RAS. Now that's something I just put together, I guess you could say, but then we go back into the storyline again. One of the stories is based on, like we was talking about, give thanks last week or a few weeks ago, Thanksgiving, and it's based on that storyline of Osar and Osar being tricked into getting or being placed into that coffin and everything, and then placed in the Nile and floating up Mesopotamia and all that good stuff. So that storyline was, or basically the event took place on the 27th of November. Within the Catholic Church is something called the Advent. The Advent is a 4 Sunday procedure, basically, process. So within 4 Sundays, the Catholic Church has this Advent. That's 28 days. 7 times 4 is 28. So the Advent from the 27th to 4 Sundays would equal the 25th of December. So that's the Advent. That's one of the things. One way to look at what's taking place on the 27th of November, or around that time, like we were speaking on last week on Give Thanks, or a couple of weeks ago again, Thanksgiving. That was in conjunction to the Nile becoming barren and dry. So Set also picked up typhoon, or also symbolic of heat. You know what I'm saying? But the deity Typhoon is also symbolic of heat, you know, and comes in, usurps the throne, and takes the throne from Osir. Osir representing water. As this heat and this dry, torrid climate comes in, it dries up all the water. So we take in the vegetation from the great harvest. You know, the harvest has come in, the harvest moon and everything, and we celebrate the fact that we have food or abundance at that time. So we give thanks around that time. And also it's a time where autumn has come in and we fall back, so we have less sunlight. So that less sunlight, shorter days, so it's dark outside, you know what I'm saying? So Lord of the perfect darkness gets caught up in this coffin by the 72 conspirers, you know what I'm saying, and goes into this water. 72, talk about the 72 different placements within the brain, as well as, Osir talking about the pineal gland, and then going into the sleep state, or going into the subconscious, not really the sleep state, but going into the subconscious aspect of oneself, with that flowing down the Nile and going into the waters. But that's just one way to look at it from that point, and as far as going from the 27th to the 25th in that 28-day period. Those 28 days again is 14 to 14. So Osir, so-called the storyline is that Osir was cut into 14 pieces. You know what I'm saying? So those 14 pieces, and 14 on the material, 14 on the immaterial equals 28. So that 28-day process, especially within the sidereal calendar, was a cycle of how neurogenesis takes place within the body. So every 28 days, the body is renewed somehow. And if we are participating with meditations, then we can actually vocalize to our cellular structure what we wanted to do within those 28 days, because it's always changing. So when we go, like Dr. Hasiru Mayoto speaks on vocalization or sound vibration frequencies, how it has the power to change the quality of material, when he did the test on waters. So when he did that, one vibration would make the good higher vibration would make this water like a snowflake. The lower vibrations would make it rigid and broken like glass. So same thing with our cellular structure. So those that know these activities keep producing a reality that is on a lower vibration, like extra low frequencies, the hertz and everything that's within machines and air conditions and all that. It has these lower frequencies that when functioning or when going within the genome of or within our natural essence, it can alter the integrity of our growth pattern. So in place of those things happening, it's good to unplug, do the matrix, do the neo, the new, get the neo going on, the neocortex, for it to pop out properly and to utilize it. It would be best, one of its best interests to not be so caught up on all of the aspects of what this reality is offering us. We created these things, and it's like something I always try to mention to people: if you sell crack, you shouldn't smoke it. You know what I'm saying? So we don't want to be Pookie out here, like that. Beam me up, Scotty. That's not what we're here for. If we get caught up on what we are participating with in that manner, especially the material side of it, and not acknowledge the spirit of it, then we may become the material and not be who we truly are in spirit and intelligence. So tapping into that DNA, allowing that DNA to express itself properly would be wise. And one way to do it is, of course, not being entangled in the half-truths as much, you know what I mean? So KA-RAS is us, it's the spirit rising up, you know what I'm saying? Washita Semitwai. Alright, another way of looking at it is, of course, on the 22nd, it's the winter solstice. So the winter solstice means sun sits still. So what happens on the 22nd, the sun appears to go down a few degrees. So as it goes down, the ancients looked at that as the sun died or whatever. So the sun goes down for 3 days, you know what I mean? And then it starts to rise, it rises back on the 24th. to the point that it was. You know, it makes the Southern Cross and all that. I'm not gonna go, like I said, I'm not gonna go into all those aspects of that tonight. The masters touch on it and everything. It's in those masters that's what they do. And I mean, you know what I'm saying, it's some good stuff. It's good information. But basically, I'm gonna get into some movements, and it's getting into that to a certain hour. Like I said, I just got in. Me and my daughter went out. It was beautiful. Yeah, it was beautiful. Me and my daughter went out to eat. I asked her what she wanted, Italian or Japanese. She said, I want some sushi. She likes sushi. But I took her to get a few things, like some clothes and stuff. We didn't really go out and get nothing. Really, she got a couple shirts, but it was beautiful. It was watching her grow into a queen. You know what I'm saying? And she's intelligent too. So it's that's a plus, you know. But yeah. Alright, so on the 22nd, the sun seems to go down, you know what I'm saying, dies or whatever, you know, goes through transition. And then on the 24th, it rises back, so 22nd, 23rd, 24th, 3 days. So that 3 days depicted, it's like going back into the Bible. Jesus died on the cross, resurrected in 3 days. So on the 25th, they celebrate, or our ancients celebrate, but now they celebrate Jesus Christ, so-called JC, or whatever, you know, which equals 13, 10, and 3. You know what I'm saying? Resurrecting. So, in my own, I guess, you know, just looking at it from different ways, that's what takes place from a cosmological point of view. So as above, so below, same thing. It's good for us to fast. I fast I start fasting on the 22nd. That's gonna be Friday, and I usually fast up into Christmas, like 3 days. You know what I'm saying? Find one thing to consume in those 3 days. You know what I'm saying? Drinking plenty of water, and just find one item that I may eat once a day. You know, well, not as a meal, but something that I'm gonna munch on throughout those days. You know what I'm saying? Not putting too much on the gut, and not participating in the actual ritual, so to speak. True. Yeah, Saturnalia as well. You know, yeah, right. Yep. Yeah, same. It's the same holiday, basically. You know what I mean? And it's all, I guess you could say, it circulates around the sun. You know, and venerating or paying tribute to the life giver up there. You know, like when we call something devil, what we're really looking at is dark evil. Because what happens is when the sun, like at Thanksgiving and around the fall or autumnal equinox, the sun goes away for a while, so it's less light. But what we were celebrating when the sun is resurrected at Christmas is now we're starting to take in more daytime as we go into the spring equinox. So as this is taking place, Christmas is the junction point. It's that midway point to where, oh, okay, we about to start getting back this sunlight. Let's celebrate, you know. So 25th, the resurrection of the Son, the Father, or Haru, you know. All right, so they, you know, as far as Christians are concerned, they really believe that, because she asked me, you know, so she was like, so you telling me, we're going, this is, because I was like, this is an illusion, you know. I didn't want to get too far into that, like to talk about, you know, with the whole hologram, light message, you know, the holy book or Neter Neter, and how holy book is, or holy Bible, Helios Biblos is light book, which is the same thing as Neter Neter, basically meaning divine word. But if you look at the word holy, it means divine as well, and book means word or text, and hologram, when you break it down, it's hologram, but that's holy as well, divine text, divine words. But how does a hologram survive? Is by way of light. So when that light is introduced into this darkness, it produces a third dimensional reality off of that flat surface, or the cell, the DNA. So that strip, that movie strip we got going on is getting a lot of misinformation. And the light ain't proficient. It ain't the true light. It's artificial light. So as that light is absorbed into our soul, the soul doesn't represent it back towards the physical reality in the sense of how it was ancestrally speaking, Ankh Star. You know what I'm saying? That information being so entangled with falsehoods, falsities, that when we get it, the ACTG or the DNA gets it, it's like, hold on, we're trying to detangle all this false information. But that's going back to the extra low frequencies and extra low vibrations and the because we have extra low frequencies, ELFs, again, I say extra low vibrations, but extra low frequencies, and then we have high frequencies. High frequencies have short waves, extra low frequencies have long waves. Within a long wave, you have a lot of space to put something in there. So all that just getting dumped down in the extra low frequencies with these long waveforms is confusing to the DNA when it comes in. So to step down information from a cosmic point of view to a galactical, all the way down to the solaric, coming from the portal that we call a sun or whatever. But basically that black hole, as we look at it, it looks like a light. But so when it comes down and it is then refocused to us on the earth plane, we might not get the correct information, ancestrally speaking, or answer, or Ankh Star, because there's so much going on with all these extra low frequencies and those long waveforms versus a short wave frequency and short wave form and high frequencies. So high frequencies have short wave forms. Less information from all over the place. Only the true information or the right information will be uploaded or downloaded into our subconscious or into our DNA, and that the memories or who we truly are would be able to broadcast properly into this programmed reality that we have created. Those that know, again, the frequencies, how they can be manipulated, continue to in place fear. False evidence appearing real. It ain't real because it ain't permanent. Permanency is our soul. That is what's going on. That's who you are, regardless of what the masses may say. If you know what I'm saying? You're going to be who you're going to be, regardless of what's going on around us. You dig? So we got into it, and she was happy about the ending outcome. I guess she took something home with her. Hopefully she got a gift for early Christmas gift. But that was that. And now just like I said, I'm going to speak on it too much because I don't have all the answers to everything, but I understand the questions. So seek not to know all the answers, yet to understand the question. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got all the answers, but like I said, we should understand what someone is asking us. You know what I mean? And give our take on from our experience the best way possible. And I let them know this is just from my perspective. It ain't it's just you're gonna see it another way, your way. And that's cool. Cool beans, you know what I'm saying? Do what you gotta do. Cool hot chili beans, you know what I'm saying, on a cold day. Yet still, just in that modality of thought in different religions and everything, and how they're all pretty much, they entrap us in the way of thinking because we believe that this thing externally is real. We put a picture to something that's immaterial. And on my alteration, I have a picture for the ancestors. Matter of fact, give me a moment. I'm gonna go get my picture for the ancestors. Hold up. Alright, so this is the picture for the ancestors here. Ta-da! Yeah, this is my picture for my ancestors. I was like, okay, put up a picture for the ancestors. I was like, oh, how am I gonna do that, man? You know, like, I'm gonna put up bodies? Nah, like, then I thought about it, like, ancestors meaning like my family and people or physical person. Well, then I thought Ankhstar, ancestor. And that's when the answer came to him. Oh, yeah, okay. So seek not to know all the answers, yet understand the question. This is the ancestors. It's unknown. It's immaterial. Spirit. You know, like, I just went and got a picture frame and sat it on my altar. And this is what represents the ancestors. It's just a blank picture frame. Alright? But yeah, so when we try to locate something physical in this physical reality and say that this is God, you know, put the picture up there, hey, look at Jesus, or even like the pictures I have here on the wall of Ganesha and Lakshmi and stuff over here, and Shiva. I have understanding of the energy behind the symbolism. So I don't look at like Jesus on the cross as a man dying. I look at it like, okay, this is the four corners. You got fire, air, water, and earth at the base, and then you have spirit rising. All right, so the spirit rising, KA-RAS. You know what I'm saying? The 5 elements, quinta essence. You know, so I look at it in a scientific manner as well as in the spiritual manner. So they separate both, and then we depend on this physical entity to come and save us, whereas the scientific approach is that fire, air, water, and earth makes the physical man and binds us in gravity or the grave to where we are stuck in a position. But when we die to the ego or to the self, the lowercase self, you know, the lower self or whatever, and then are resurrected back up, spirit rising up, instead of being complacent and the only thing we see is the manifestation. We don't understand where the manifestation is coming from, you know, that star or whatever, the pineal gland, you know, the top of the tree. Then yeah, you know, we start to worship and we start to pray to this thing. Oh Lord, save me, give me. I mean, and it can't work. It works because, you know, we opening up the door of spirit. Yet we're acknowledging it as something that's external and only, and then we're waiting on it, you know, for it to come and all this other stuff, you know, like some weird shit. But anyway, so yeah, to me, and I don't know, I'm not the only person in the world, or whatever, the universe, or whatever you want to call it, that may see it in this manner, but basically we are all interconnected, and this spirit, when acknowledged properly, this intelligence, it don't have no face, like talk about, you know, it's going through all of us at all times. Yet and still to pray and worship on an image is almost blasphemy, as they say, you know what I'm saying? It's idolatry, you know, and that's biblical. So that Christ thing on the cross and all that doesn't really relate to us in that manner, like that. We are Christ, you know what I'm saying? Each individuated dual self is the Christ, you know what I'm saying? The KA-RAS, the spirit rising. The spirit, the energy, like even with the Superman symbol, you know what I'm saying? You got that, the apex at the bottom, and you got that S energy going up, you know what I mean? And that's that snake energy, if you will, the cadosis, or the staff, the medicinal staff of those two sacral nerve energies going up and interconnecting. I still got on the clothes from earlier. So we're gonna get into some tips and tricks, but yeah, that's just my take on that. And yeah, as far as Christmas is concerned, what's going down with it or going up with it as it rises, you know what I'm saying? As the spirit rises, it leads those who acknowledge what spirit. Now I say spirit, you know, time to time I might throw in intelligence, might throw in Ankhstar or whatever, but this you know, they say the internal Tao that is spoken of is not the true Tao. So it really can't be defined in that manner. Because once we start, that's why, you know, it's the blank picture right there. Once we try to define something that's immaterial, it's going to find its way to materialize in the way that we thinking it's supposed to be somewhere in our connection with this physical reality. That's why I was saying unplug a little bit so that we get these short waves going, so that right information, when it come down, you know what I'm saying, and we get that download, when it does represent itself in the physical reality, it will have the intention of what is purposeful and what it was meant to be, in place of what is being orchestrated and manipulated by way of our conscious mind taking in, like through epigenetics, and you know, Dr. Bruce Lipton, as far as the information he brought to the table with stem cell research, and then going into epigenetics, he states that 80% of our reality is based on what we are looking at. You know what I'm saying? So we take in and absorb 80% of our physical reality and we put it right back out there. Whereas, well, 80% of our DNA and everything, or 80% of who we are, is what the physical world makes us, like our personality and thing. Person, again, means through sound. So sound, sana, and per, through. So through sound, or through what we tell ourselves, the cells or the DNA is exchanged into whatever it is material, the 80%. So genetically speaking, 80% of our reality is based on what we already have in front of us. And if it ain't right, you know what I mean, it ain't like, you know, what it's supposed to be, then it can be, you know, that's what we're looking at right now, you know what I'm saying? So we keep refocusing that energy back out. And to shorten the wave would lessen the chance or the opportunity of these opportunities to invade and replace, or not really replace, or remove, but basically cover up and try to hide and conceal the truth from the genetics. It all starts here first. You know, it starts within the mind. You know what I'm saying? As the energy comes down into its fruition and then is manifested, it starts within the mind. So if they can control the mind or brainwash us, you know what I'm saying, through different different means and mechanisms, then they have the upper hand. So that extra low frequency and those long waveforms are dumping too much information to where the confusing or the chaotic state of the DNA is not allowed to enhance and be expressive or be its true self. You know what I'm saying? So the lower self, the lowercase self, has more authority by way of the 80% of the reality being in control, in place of that 20%, like with our parents giving us the 20% of like our eye color and all that, our height, some of the way how we move, some of the things we may do, the way we speak. That is the 20%. Bad breath, you know, maybe not the bad breath, I don't know. But that would be the 20%. But we can balance that out though by shortening the wave. You know what I'm saying? The wavelength. Alright. I think that pretty much, like I said, I'm freestyling a little bit. I wasn't gonna go into nothing tonight. I thought I was gonna be with my daughter all night. Get thanks. Yeah, I love my daughter, man. She's I love all my children, you know. I love everyone actually, but you know, just my daughter. So it's like when we have the opportunity, when we get the chance to be together and stuff, and we go out, she always does something that uplifts me. But tonight, like I said, I went to a store to get. She likes accessories. She's growing up, you know. She's a certain age anyway, but she's growing up, and so she had 2 shirts. They're shirt dresses, I think, something like that. And she went. I was like, I want to make sure they fit right, you know. So we got a small and a medium, the same color. I was like, you know, try on the medium first, let me see. And then she tried it on, she went and tried it on, came out. I was like, yeah, it's all right. Kind of loose, you're going to grow some more. It's kind of good, though. Then she went, I was like, go ahead and try on the other one. So she went and tried it on, she came out. And I ain't even said nothing yet. She came out, she was like touching her stomach. She's like, I don't like this one, Daddy. It's too tight, it's fitting too much. I don't like this, showing too much. I said, what? I was like, did she just say it's showing too much? It's fitting too tight? I was like, well, you know, I almost had a tear. I was like, well, that's what's up. She noticed that it was too revealing, even in her young state. I mean, she growing, you know what I'm saying? But at the same breath, she understood that she didn't want that type of attention. You know what I'm saying? She would rather get attention from, you know, her mind, from her intelligence, than her physical body, that material. So that's like the fusion of the material and immaterial. And that's God-like right there. And God is a woman, goddess, you know what I'm saying? So I give thanks to y'all women, especially, I mean, most definitely the goddesses out there, goddess of women, that are doing the thing right now, doing the work. Continue to do the work. Be there for your daughters and your sons and everything like never before, you know what I'm saying? Because that's you, basically, you know what I'm saying? And keep them going on the right path, because whatever's happening out here, you know what I'm saying, you want them to be tighter than the, you know what I'm saying, than whatever. And don't play on it, you know, just by talking about it and all that stuff. I'm talking about a little bit, you know, what took place, but show it through the actions, you know what I'm saying, do the work, you know what I mean. Alright, get thanks. We're gonna get into some activities now. Let's see, what was the first thing we're going to see? Tipz and Trikz. We are in December, the 10th month, Deca. The 10th month. We call it December 12th month, but you know what Julius Caesar and Augustus Caesar did to the calendar, Dionysus and all that whole story. So the calendar kind of monked up right now, if you will, if you want to use the word monked up. But the calendar has been torn apart. But okay. So we're dealing with the cold season, let's put it like that. Cold season. And also the organ system of the cold season is the kidneys. Alright, so the kidneys is dealing with water. Again, the blood is fire, you know, and that's summer. Alright, so now we're in winter where blood hibernates. It's like the bear, whatever, goes into the cave. So the blood is now in the cave. You know, Osu got into the coffin. Go to sleep for a minute. Let's not be too active. You know what I'm saying? Let's rest a little bit. So that blood, that heat, is now a little sleep. It ain't moving as much. You notice in the winter we don't do as much. We ain't as active. We want to stay in more. You know what I'm saying? It's cold outside. It's cold outside. Okay. But it's cold outside and stuff. We don't want to go out there and do as much as we were doing in the summertime. Yet still, we want to get up and do some things because we got to stay active. The kidneys, on the other hand, don't want to get cold though. Too cold, because what does water do when it's cold outside? It freezes. So if we ain't doing certain procedures or something to enhance the water essence of the kidneys, you know, kidneys dealing with water, that's asha, you know, so we may have a sore back, or we may have a psoas, you know what I'm saying? That psoas muscle that's again connected to, you know, the lower part and the upper part. But it's also in conjunction, is also part of the connected to the adrenals and the kidneys. Alright, so if we do certain activities or exercises, Qigong, then we can enhance the activity of the kidneys so it doesn't freeze over, and we won't have those instances where it may cause pains within the body. So we're going to go over a couple of those, as well as the first thing we're going to do. This is for the blood movement in the body. Because, hold up, let me bring this. Okay, so we're gonna, the blood movement in the body, something that I've talked about before, but I don't think we haven't physically went over this as an inner side. It's the rub down. What the rub down is, skateboard on track. I was skating earlier. I ain't got no shoes on. Anyway, I'm gonna put it down. Hurt myself in the house. Oh, okay, so the rub down. What we're going to do is bring the blood to the heart region. Take this shirt off. Pour himself. So the rub down, fairly simple. We in the shower, we in the bath, right? What we do is we just get we had soap. Hold it. I'm gonna grab this too. Okay. Alright, so we get the rag, we in there, we take a shower, and I use the tree of life inside of this ritual, if you want to call it. But basically, it's a rub down in the bathtub, where you do a vigorous rub down to bring vitality into your body in the cold season. But you do this all year round too. And also get another tip on how to close off the pores. But okay, basically, you be in there, you get your soap in your hand, you got your rag or whatever, you take a shot, right? All right. So you get, first wipe the osir, you wipe Keter, the top. Get that all good, you know what I'm saying? Wash that, put a little ump into it with the rag, osar, Nuk Pa osar, whatever, I am osar, whatnot, you can do it like that. I am Kathir, whatever, you know what I mean? Then you go into the left side of the face. So that's Nuk Pa Tahuti, you know what I'm saying? Or Nuk Pa Chakma, wisdom. So you do the left side, then you go to the right side, Nuk Pa Sakir, or Nuk Pa Bina, understanding. So you got that going. Then you get to the left arm, there's Nuk Pa Ma'at. You know what I'm saying? So bring that Ma'at energy down, vigorous rub down. Get it right down there, see what I'm saying? So now we bringing the energy from the face here, and then from the arm, heart region, going down, because you got the heart meridian here going towards the heart. Everything's going to go towards the heart. So it goes towards the heart. So that's Ma'at, Nuk Pa Ma'at, or Nuk Pa, I said Chokma is second, because Keter, Chokma, Bina, then Chasad, Ma'at. So you're bringing that energy down. Then you get to the right arm. Nuk Pa Gabaro, or Nuk Pa Hurukuti and Gabaro. So that'll be the fifth one right there, the fifth spirit, or the fifth deity on the tree of life. Bring that energy down. You want to rub it down in there. Have your arm up like that. You know what I'm saying? Bring it down to the heart region. Both sides. To the heart region. Then we get to the chest. That's Haru, the heart. Haru. So get right here, we're gonna clean that, rub that down. This is with the soap and the rag while you're taking a shower. This could be a spiritual shower or spiritual bath. If you do it in the bathtub while you're sitting, don't forget, as a spiritual bath, or even if you're taking a bath, don't forget to rinse off the dirt that you were sitting in, where you sitting in, you know what I'm saying? Because, spiritual bath or even a regular bath, if we sitting down in the tub, we should still rinse off from being in our dirt, you know what I'm saying? So take a shower after a bathtub, to clean off. So we're at the heart region, Haru. All right, then we go to the loins right here, the midsection, right, torso, and that's Nasak or Netak. Also, my bad, Hetaru, the house of light or victory Netak. So right here, we rub this vigorously, bring it up towards the heart. Bring it up, you know what I'm saying? Right here, the heart is pretty much equal. After we went to Ma'at, Harukati, Haru. Sixth spear of the tree of life right here, or Teporaf within the Kabbalistic terms, Teporaf. Then we go to Neteru or Netsak, Hetaru or Netsak, Netzach, right here rubbing that real good, bringing it towards the heart. And after that we go to the eighth spirit, that's Sabak or High meaning glory, Sabak meaning to sublimate, basically to retain. So we go to the left leg, bring the energy down to clean first, you know what I'm saying? Clean it, wash it all the way down, then bring the energy back up, rubbing it with the soapy rag back up towards the heart. Alright, same with the ninth spirit. The ninth spirit being Aset. Aset meaning the seat. Also, your side, meaning the throne. Alright, your side in the Kabbalistic term, Y-E-S-O-D, your side. I said, bring it that same way we did on the left, we're going to do it on the right. So bring the energy down, we're going to clean it, taking that negative energy out, get that dirt out, then we bring the good positive energy back up to Haru, to the heart. That blood and everything, resurrecting Osir with the clean blood. Alright, from there, we go to Malkut, or Geb, the earth, Malkut, the kingdom. Malkut is the Kabbalistic term, Hebrew term. So Malkut, we're gonna get Malkut, and Malkut is basically the bottom of the feet. So we get them toes and everything, and we do the same thing we just did. We're gonna make sure we get the dirt out the toes, wash the feet good, and then we go back up, same way. Do the other foot, go back up, same way. And then, the last but not least, is the gluteus maximus and all that good in between. You know what I'm saying? Wash the undercarriage last. Don't go and, you know what I'm saying, wash the undercarriage or the bottom of the car and then go and wash your windows. You don't want to wash that and then go and wash your face again. So we that kind of defeats the purpose while I'm gonna wipe on this. Yeah. Okay, so last but not least, we get that'll be Malkut or Geb, the earth, the bottom of the feet and that. But then after that, you put the rag down or whatever, and you turn on the cold water, especially in the cold season. Since we're in the, or even if you live in a cold climate, like if you live in a cold climate, this is good for year round. I do it year round regardless. You know, just to close the pores off to any pathogenics that may threaten my immune system. Oh, and by the way, speaking of immune system, if you may not recall, but a few weeks ago I stated that I was going to stop taking supplementation altogether. I wanted to take no outside vitamins other than what's in my food intake, as well as in meditation, Qigong, Tai Chi, whatever else, you know, deep breathing exercises, and just lifestyle. So I haven't been supplementing, minus wheatgrass. You know, I still put the wheatgrass in because of the bionutrients that's available that may not be in the food because the food might have some type of toxicity, whatever, you know what I'm saying? All in all, I haven't been doing vitamin C, vitamin D3, zinc, magnesium, calcium, or none of that, the other stuff, boron, MSM, none of those things for the past 3 weeks, and yeah, I feel good. I ain't got no, you know, nose ain't been running, ain't no mucus. But of course, I'm a vegan, so I don't put no milk I ain't got no milk in my diet, and eggs and things that may cause mucus or acid. I don't do wheat, I don't do soy much. I do soy a little bit because, you know, I do a little bit of soy for protein, but not much, you know what I'm saying? And it's organic. But no peanuts, macadamia nuts is basically, none of the 8 allergens, 8 food allergens, I don't participate with those. and try to stay as holistic as possible and natural as possible, and not mix up too many things. That mono diet is good. You know, we don't want to build up acid in the body, so it's good to stay neutral by staying natural. You know what I'm saying? So once we get to that negative stress due to an acid buildup, then mucus is going to exchange, like that. We was talking about that blood, especially in the wintertime, since the blood is asleep. Only thing that's left is that mucus. So that mucus is now going to take the place of the blood, basically, and going to be festered within first the friendly bacteria, which is now being ate up by that, you know, the unfriendly bacteria, candida or whatever. It's going to turn toxic, and then it's going to go through the organ system, eventually into the lungs, where it's going to try to come out of the body. You know, that white stuff on the mouth, the nose, the eyes, you know, those things, skin getting the bumps and things like that, constipation, diarrhea, different things that may occur due to that mucus getting trapped in the body and didn't want to come out, especially like at this time of year. But thus far, everything been on the up and up with being off of supplementation and just participating with myself in that manner. All right. So after that, get that cold water and you might want to be gentle. Don't just turn it on like, which is cool too. That shock, because it sends an electric charge through the spine, through the central nervous system, that will also bring about vigor and vitality for the day, give you energy for the day by just putting that cold water on your body fast. You know what I'm saying? Wake you up. You know, if you're doing it in the first thing. But if you're going out or you live in a cold climate, or it's cold outside like now, when in winter it's not cold today, it's like 7 degrees here today. But if we're in a cold climate or whatnot, it's wise to go ahead and after a hot shower, because heat causes expansion. You know what I'm saying? It causes things to open up. We don't want to go outside with the pores of the skin still open because we took a hot shower. So spray off with the cold water to close the pores so that they won't be open and take in whatever's out there. You know what I'm saying? And if you live in a holistic diet and everything, then, you know, it won't really affect you. Whatever is out there and the pores are you know, closed or whatnot, even if they ain't, I ain't gonna say, you know what I'm saying, it wouldn't, but it won't affect you as much. But definitely, this right here helps. It's a good way to block off those different pathogens or different toxic type of materials that may be introduced to the skin or to the cell, basically, by way of the skin, other people touching their hands, whatever. Some things can occur like that, but get that cold water, spray the same way. Normally, you know, that's what I do. I get my face in here further, you know, the same thing. All right, and you can also do that with the lotion. So the lotion, go through the same motion. So you get the lotion, put it on, you know, well, you face. Same thing, put some more lotion on, same thing, you know what I mean, basically. Then come back up, get it right, then come back and get the feet and the butt and all that. All right. So that's a tip. All right. From there, we're gonna go into a little Qigong kidney rubs again. If y'all recall, we've done it before a couple of times. But the kidney rub, kidney rub, as well as this one is a good one too. Kidney slash. You turn from side to side, and basically you tap the kidneys right in there. This is a good exercise for internal and external martial arts as well, because if you do it slow and you stop right here, relax though. Make sure you're relaxing the shoulders. It builds up the calves, it builds up the knee muscles and the hips. And in martial arts, of course, we want to use our hips a lot, but in life in general, remember the hips generate a lot of the energy of the stem cells, because a lot of the stem cells are stored in this area, and that's the rejuvenation of oneself. The legs are very important in your longevity and in your walk, basically. You know what I'm saying? We want to keep good, strong legs to be able to move around as we go. The more we sit, the more we become stationary, just like a material item. You know what I'm saying? God moved over the face of the earth. You know what I'm saying? Didn't say God sat still. You know what I'm saying? The sun sat still and then what? Move back up. You know what I'm saying? Solstice or whatever. You dig? So it ain't like it sat still forever or whatever maybe. You know, whatever forever maybe. So let's keep these moving. But this Qigong is kidney slaps. And we can open up into it, you know, just relax. I need to relax. It's like, I'm on go right now. Like I just drunk some coffee or something. You know what I'm saying? So relax. You can open up to the left or right. I'm just opening up to the right. Just slide your feet out. You know, open up how you want to. Bring that energy in. Open up the central nervous system. This is the opening of the central nervous system. Once these hands come up and they hit right here, just turn it on the car again. You know what I'm saying? You just ignited everything, and that flame is starting to circulate through the body. That energy starting to circulate. So we said in Wu Chi right here, the void, the emptiness, nothing's going on right here. Breathe in, breathe out. You know, breathe in 6 seconds. Relax, breathe out 6 seconds. Go through the focal points 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, 6. Bring that Christmas tree energy back up as it ravels around the Christmas tree. You know what I'm saying? The Kundalini, the Prana. Bring that energy up. The sacral nerves. Feel it in the hands and the feet and everything. Make sure and be sure you know your knees are not going over your toes. Slightly bent. Don't put too much stress on it. The lower back will be tucked going forward. You know what I'm saying? Your hands will be going back a little bit. Relax, shoulders relax, head up, erect. Feet will be parallel, shoulders width apart. So we ain't gonna be sitting down into it too much where the knees will be over the toes. We ain't gonna be standing so much that the knees are locked out. So it's about an inch and a half in the knees. The lower back of the coccyx is gonna slightly tuck forward, not forcing it. You're 10 over 4, so sit down into it. You don't wanna tighten your muscles intentionally. Like, okay, now, you know what I'm saying, I'm tightening my muscles. If you notice that, then just gauge back and relax. Relax the muscles, especially the psoas. Don't tighten the psoas like when we're sitting down and all that. Relax this part of your body as much as possible. Once we tuck the coccyx in or the tailbone in, it's going to engage in the hamstrings. It's going to engage in the muscles here, the quadriceps and everything, so that you will start to strengthen this part of your body, which is very important, you know what I'm saying? And the knees as well as the calf. All your legs are going to be engaged as soon as we go from this position to this. Alright? So relax here. Keep your shoulders relaxed and drop. Don't have them up, you know, like that, causing more tension, which leads to anxiety, you know, more stress. So try to be relaxed in the mind as well. I know thoughts ain't going to cease, you know what I'm saying? Like they say, you know, try to stop thinking. You know, it's not going to happen, you know, but try to collect the thoughts that you need for our proper growth and exclude those that are not necessary. So we're here, kidney slaps. Bring your hands up, breathe in, and breathe out as they come down towards the sternum. Form the prayer hands, Buddha hands, well, not Hotep hands, all that good stuff. Alright, then we're going to bring them out and clap. We're going to clap them together, then roll. Mr. Miyagi. Alright, and then we're going to bring them around to the kidneys. Stay relaxed. We're going to breathe in 3 times. Well, 3 different moments. And then breathe out. So that's the first one. Breathe in 6 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You know what I'm saying? Then breathe out 6 seconds. Breathe in once again 6 seconds. Then breathe out 6 seconds. On the last one, breathe in. So this is the 4th one. And when we breathe out, shui. So the chant is shui, the power of the shui. shui, like feng shui. You know what I'm saying? Wind and water. This is water talking about the kidneys. You know what I'm saying? So shui. It looks something like you got your gunslinger and bring your guns out, but you want to really brush the kidney area and have the intent in mind that you are taking out impurities and flushing them out, filtering the system, okay, by way of the kidneys. So that's the first one. Breathe in again. That's the second one. Once more. That's the third one. And we'll breathe in. Sway. And relax. So that's the kidney rub right there. And you can do that as many times you want to stimulate the kidney energy so it don't freeze up on us. Pretty much you're heating it up. Get that blood flowing in the hands, warm them up. Then place them on the kidney region and do the 3 breaths and heat up and stimulate the kidneys. You know what I'm saying? In place of putting a lot of alkalinity in like that to talk about, well, as far as like raw food, still do your raw food through the day. You know what I'm saying? That's what you do. You know, I pretty much, 80% raw. Pretty much, you know what I'm saying? I when I do eat, it's going to be like a yam or some rice or some quinoa or something as far as grains and root vegetables are concerned, that whole protein, seaweed, certain things like that. But the cooked food aspect of it, I might, boil some or steam some vegetables, boil some vegetables, but I try not to take the impurities. Even the water I use as tea or broth later on, vegetable broth later on, I don't dispose of it. I'm gonna drink it that night as a tea, like yams. When I cook yams, I'll use the water as yam tea. I might mix it with some tea, like peppermint tea or something like that I've already made, and just put the yam tea in there too, and drink it together. You know what I'm saying? To get whatever properties is on the skin of that yam. Well, sweet potato, because yams are indigenous to Africa actually, and sweet potatoes are, probably a hybrid or something over here that we call yam at times. But even if it say yam in the grocery store, if it don't say from a certain region in Africa, it probably ain't truly a yam. Yams are indigenous to the African continent. So sweet potato tea. I like to say yam tea. It sounds like yam seed. You know what I'm saying? Yam seed more. Alright. So basically, to put it in there like that and get those nutrients out that way and help stimulate. Also for kidneys and lungs, broccoli and cauliflower, grapefruits, things is going to help purge oranges and continue to clean out anything that could cause obstruction or blockages in the body. You know what I'm saying? Cayenne pepper, turmeric, ginger, peppermint, again, spearmint, cinnamon. These things are blood movers. You know what I'm saying? Since the blood is sleep and everything at this time, it's also good to warm it up a little bit, also to help activate and stimulate activity within the kidneys. You don't want the kidneys to go to sleep and freeze over. You know what I'm saying? You want to keep the activity of the kidneys functioning properly. It's a dynamic balance, you know what I'm saying? Two opposites that exist together as one. So each season, someone was asking me in class the other day, they was like, so you're a vegan or whatever, a lot of going on. But anyway, so the guy, we had stepped out of class about to get in the car, and he's acting like, sure, you seem real healthy, I was like, yeah. He's like, so what are you, a vegan or something? I said, yeah, I'm a vegan. He said, well, my brother's a vegan too, but he don't seem to be doing too well with it. He's always sick, and I'm like, I participate with the 5 phases, basically in dealing with traditional Chinese medicine and the 5 phases or whatnot. Just, you know, what it is, you know, you got 5 elements, you have 5 different operations of the seasons, you have 5 organs, you know, the organ systems or whatever. So everything within those 5 phases is certain things that if we want to manifest as far as into a outward existence in truth, so to speak, you know what I'm saying, of how we see it internally, then it's good to follow the seasonal changes to operate within those properly. You know what I mean? That's why this season I was like, I want to see just how healthy the immune system is in relation to everything that I participated with in the past, like 6-7 years, to where I'm at now. So I decided not to supplement to see, you know, no flu. I ain't had no flu, no vaccination since 1995, and you know I've got sick since then. You know, I haven't had a cold or anything that's in that manner for about 10 years though, about between 8 and 10 years. I can't, maybe even more than 10 years. I can't remember. But anyway, so that's one of the reasons why I decided to do that, because I want to see how these cycles is really affecting me in a positive manner. You know, we scientists, so we like to, you know, we study self, knowledge of self, you know, and then bring it to other people after the experiences said done. So that's what I'm going through right now. No supplementation, nothing extra, just getting it from food items, drinking, you know, water and other things that have other nutrients in it that the body may require throughout the day, as well as amino acids and things like that, like the amino acid or the soy alternative, or what is called Bragg's amino acids. I went back to that. That's why I say I do a little bit of soy. I wasn't messing with it for a few years, but then I was like, I'm gonna go ahead and throw that back in there because we got all the amino acids. But also, you know, nuts like macadamia nuts, I spoke on that earlier, almonds and things like that, with some of those essential amino acids that we need that the body doesn't necessarily produce. All right, so what's next? Oh, well, that's the 5 phases. So the 5 phases, to break it down real quick. Winter, you got kidneys, you know what I'm saying? So keep the kidneys happy through the winter time. Make sure they don't freeze over. Water is the element. We go into spring, you got the liver. The liver is dealing with wood as the element. So we want to make sure we put certain things in there that's going to stimulate the wood aspect, and don't burn it out like with too much fire from the heart or heat, you know what I'm saying, and don't over flood it with too much energy from the kidneys. So wood energy, you know what I'm saying, help the growth of it with enough water and enough heat or enough sunlight, but keep it balanced. Then in the we go to the summer, which is the heart, you know, so we stimulate the hearty region, you know what I'm saying, which is fire, you know what I'm saying. So bring some things in there to cool down the fire actually, so it don't overstimulate, so that we bring water in. And we would also bring wood in to help stimulate the heat aspect, but not too much wood. So it's a dynamic balance again. And go into, you know, do your research, do your diligence, and see what each, you can type it in probably on Google, and it'll say, you know, liver energy or kidney energy. You know what I'm saying? What stimulates kidney energy? And it'll probably go into some TCM too, because you're talking about energy and you're talking about wood, or we're talking about stimulating that certain organ. So after summer, we have late summer or Indian summer, some people call it Indian summer. That's corresponding to the spleen, and the spleen is the spleen energy is earth. So you don't want to put too much water on the earth because it'll flood it. So you got a dynamic balance. You don't want to put too much heat to it because it'll make the earth go into a state of like to mineralize it. That's dealing with metal as well. So that's the lung energy going into autumn. So you don't want too much. You want the dynamic balance. So that's the spleen. The spleen is late summer, or the time between the end of August up to the equinox, the autumnal equinox. Autumn is the lungs again. That's metal or minerals. You know what I'm saying? So you stimulate the lungs at that time, you know, purifying things, you know, to help purge it out, clean it out. But those are different 5 phases. I ain't really going to things you're gonna put in, you know what I'm saying, do your research and we, you know, put it together, you know, give us something to do instead of just sitting around, you know what I mean? But this is that is the kidney, that was not the kidney tap, but just the kidney rub. The kidney tap is when we go like this. So kidney tap, same thing. You can open up, breathe out, breathe in. So come in right here, breathe out. Then from there, just start to slap. Swinging the hips. You can swing the hips just from, I mean, you don't have to swing the hips at first. You initiate it by just swinging the arms. Then you can, you know, if you got stiff shoulders or stiff neck, just start right here first. Then start to move the shoulders more. First you just start here. Now throw the shoulders in. The hand, the back hand is gonna be like this. So now you can start moving the hips. My thing is, I like to look at the opposite corner. So wherever the corner is, I like to go to that one to really get them hips engaged. Just to help loosen up the quad or the hips, so you have better mobility and movement, and more fluid-like, be more baby-like. You know what I'm saying? Back to her root, back to baby, back to the light. So you know what I'm saying? Be able to move around, do what you're gonna do. You know, if you want to stand in the crane for an hour and kick over there and then kick over there and then I want to kick the wall. But basically, you know, to keep your legs as strong as possible. And I used to eat in the horse stance just to be able to get my legs back. So legs are very important. This is where your essence is flowing at. You know what I'm saying? From the kidney region. You dig what I'm saying? Legs is also equivalent to sabek, so that's sublimation. Or also Elegba, also Tahuti, you know what I'm saying? The ancestors, basically, the opening of the way. How I'm gonna open the way if I ain't moving towards it? I mean, once you open it, you gotta get, you know what I'm saying? But basically, the essence is down here. They say when a person is starting to transition, the first place they feel it is in the feet, right? So the feet just start feeling a certain kind of way as they transition, because now the essence is moving up. And even in the ancient traditions, some of the ancient traditions, we focused on the energy moving back up the pineal gland. That's why in certain meditative practices, we practice to send the energy up and not be stuck down here in the base. So that energy moving from here, going up, stimulates and brings back the higher representation of self. It helps in that activity. But that's the kidney rub, the kidney slap or kidney taps, and the kidney rub and shway, you know what I'm saying? 2 good tips or tricks, if you want to say, but 2 good tips for stimulating kidney energy and keeping them kidneys warm through the cold season. We're gonna do 3 of the Semi-Twilight yoga moves. I think we stopped off at, I didn't look at, let me see. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, we're doing 3 at a time. So the last 3 was new. Well, yeah, we did the mountain pose or the mirror, and then we went out. Yeah, we did the wheel shin, and rounded it up with Maznet or the Boulder Rock, right? So now this is after. We'll go over it again. Tonight is kind of, with the hour, it's 10 o'clock. So I ain't gonna keep you all night. So we're gonna do these three. We'll go over the whole the whole thing from the onset. Next time I show face on YouTube Live or whatnot, I'm not gonna give you a date or a certain time period because hey, it's up in the air right now with me. Just like I said, a lot of going on. Yeah. All right. It's good stuff though. Everything's good. Everything's peace. You know what I'm saying? Let's stay humble within these next few moments, if you will, because it's going to be beautiful. You know what I'm saying? And you got to get through the rough to get to the diamond. You know what I'm saying? The diamond in the rough. You know, like Dr. Eileen speaks on. You know, we've been oppressed, suppressed, and depressed. You know, so that pressure, those rough moments in life, or whatever you know what I'm saying, we call it rough. You know what I'm saying? But yet still on the other side of that cloudy, dismal, dark thunderstorm is a sun somewhere. You know what I'm saying? So we gotta look through the you know, separate the the wheat from the chaff. You know what I'm saying? So we gotta look through those moments and not really deal with them in the manner of our reactive mind in a state of panic and fear, and relocate and refocus that energy back into a higher purpose so that we will continue our process of upliftment. You know, even if it's just an individual thing with you, your family, your community, wherever it is, whatever you're doing, do it in a state of upliftment. And the intent is for you to be in a better position here now. You know what I'm saying? Regardless, even if you know, if I'm a janitor or maid or whatever, you know what I'm saying, and I'm still participating with these things in that manner, at least I have a smile in my heart, you know, even through the frustrations or whatever's going on, you know, relocating and refocusing that energy to a higher purpose, you know, that's not really even outside of ourselves, like to talk about like the image or something that, okay, I gotta do it this way because if I don't, I won't go to heaven and I won't be able to walk on the pearly, you know, the gold streets and see the pearly gates and sit in the graces of God and see my name in the book of life and all that good stuff. You know, that's far-fetched and everything. It's something we reaching, we chasing a ghost basically, you know what I'm saying? It's that greyhound trying to get that stuffed bunny or whatever, and then, you know, not noticing that it's a stuffed bunny for one. Then when they do get to, you know, at the end of the race, they still get, you know, this leash locked around their neck and thrown back in the daggone cage, you know what I'm saying? So we ain't rats in the race. It's a human race, so to speak, but it ain't no race like that, you know what I'm saying? Especially when we're looking at it from the wrong angle or the angle that's given to us, you know what I'm saying? So look at it from a different perspective and relocate and refocus the energy. Remember, this local shit ain't it, you know what I'm saying? This thing we got going on here is not it. Alright, it's not all. So we go through where we left off. So once we, let's see, if we were like this, we was doing my knot. My knot goes, whatever, I'm not going to go through it like that, but after we finish, we breathe out. Then we rise. So it's we went from creation to, and now we're in the transition. Alright, so the transition basically, actually we're still in creation. So creation, what we do is we bring our feet together. I don't want to split my pants. I don't know. Didn't know yoga in these ones. These ain't meant for yoga. Alright, these are, yeah, hopefully I've done it before where I sit in meditation and I wasn't noticing that the pants were too tight or whatever right there around there. You know. So first we just bring the legs down as much as possible and we come towards, breathe in, do it very slowly. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. As we press down on the calves, breathe in and breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in,
Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Now breathe in. Bring the hands forward with your, making that triangle. Bring the hands forward, stretch forward. Bring the knees flat as possible. Breathe in. And breathe out. Breathe in. And breathe out. Breathe in. As you breathe in, just bring the hands and feet and hands back up. Now we're going to put our right foot up onto the left leg, if possible. If not, you can keep it down. We're just going to stretch the toes. Breathe in, keep the shoulders as straight as possible, and head up erect, spine erect. Try not to be slouching down into it, over the one side. Try to, keep your posture straight, what I'm saying? It's for a reason, so the energy can move up as you breathe in and out. Remember, this is KA-RAS must. Children of the rising spirit. So you're just gonna bend your toes back as you breathe in, then breathe out, bend your toes back. Breathe in, breathe out as you breathe, toes back. Do that 3, 4, 5, how many times you want to, After that, breathe in, keeping the shoulders relaxed, the head up, back straight, breathe in. And we're going to bring the foot up towards our chest as close as possible and stretch as we breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. Do that 3 times, breathe in, and then stretch into it. After that, we're going to bring our foot down and in front of us to where it's lined up. The knee will be, the big toe will be lined up with the spine, basically. We always want to check the spine. Make sure that whatever we're doing, the spine is straight. You don't want to be leaning to one side as you do these deep breathing exercises, because that's the energy is going to be off balance, and we might feel a certain kind of way within. Pains might start just because of the way we sit and deep breathing. So I always try to keep that spine straight and erect. I'll be checking myself all the time. I'll be like, damn, I ain't right. Let me straighten up. So breathe in here. We're just going to bring the toes back as we breathe out. Bring the toes towards you. Breathe in. And breathe out as the toes comes towards you. Breathe in. And breathe out. Breathe in. Do that 3 times and breathe out. Then on this next breath will be the 4th one. You breathe in. And then you're going to bring the foot up. If possible. Excuse me. You can bring this foot in more so you have balance within the back. Now to go where you are with it, so you breathe in again, bring the foot up more, the whole leg. Breathe in, keeping the shoulders relaxed, don't tighten up the shoulders, keep the shoulders relaxed, breathe in, and bring it up to where it's right there, like the knee would be right there at the ear. Breathe in again, keeping the shoulders relaxed, the back straight, and bring it all the way up as possible. As you stay relaxed, head is erect, spine straight, breathe in. And now, bring the leg down very slowly and relax. This is, if possible, go where you are with it. This is just inside of the Washington Semi-Twilight, the revised version. This is Washington Semi-Twilight yoga. This is not the same Semi-Twilight from other traditions. So breathe in here. You're going to grab your toes. Okay, so grab your toes, and we're just going to float the leg over here. Make sure this leg is in to where you balance. Bring this arm out to where it's sideways, on your side, and you're going to bring this leg up, breathing out. Breathe in, and then bring it over to where it's now straight with the hip. Then breathe out again. Breathe in, and then breathe out. Breathe in, and then breathe out. Keeping your balance. Stretching the hip and the whole leg from the toe up. Then as you come around, bring the foot over, exchange hands, breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, stretching and moving the leg towards that way, and breathe out. Breathe in, and breathe out. Bring the foot up, breathe in, and breathe out. Then bring the foot down, and come back to a resting position. From here, I'm not gonna go into that one. I'm still working on getting my leg over my head, but if you can get your leg over your head, just breathe in here and bring it up. Breathe in again and bring it up as high as you can to where this shoulder is under the leg. Like I said, I'm still working on this posture. But then you breathe out and bring your foot back down. You know what I'm saying? It's been about a year or so. Slowly, you know what I'm saying? My daughter's trying to teach me how to get over. Then after that, just one more stretch, breathing. If you wanna stretch into the hip on the right side. So you breathe in, and we're gonna put our left hand on the right thigh, right above the knee, and the left hand is gonna go under. So you're gonna breathe, you're gonna pull in two opposite directions, split energy basically. So you breathe in, and you're gonna pull back on the thigh with the left hand. Breathe in, and breathe out as you pull and stretch into the hip. Then come back up. So everything we did over there, we're gonna do over here. So we bring in the left leg, and put it on the right, inside the right side, right there where it was, you know what I'm saying? So breathe in, keep the shoulders erect, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. As you stretch the toes, breathe in, breathe out, as you stretch the toes. Then bring the leg up, breathe in, and breathe out. As the foot comes towards, breathe out, keeping the shoulders straight as possible, back erect. Breathe in, remember the toes are gonna be lined up with the spine. Breathe in and breathe out. Then bring the foot down, lining up the big toe with the spine again. Gonna breathe in, breathe out, breathe in once more, and breathe out. For myself. Once again, breathe in, bring the toes back, breathe out. Now breathe in, grab the foot. If possible, work on this. You know, you can start right here and just keep it there wherever you are. You know, you can also start with the wall, have your back against the wall, or either laying flat. I'll show you in a second. If I don't forget, breathe in, breathe out. This leg, you can move it closer so you have more balance. Breathe in, breathe out. As you stretch it, bring it closer. Breathe in. It takes a little while to get used to this posture. Breathe out. Breathe in. And breathe out, keeping the shoulder relaxed. Once again, breathe in. Go as deep and as far back as you can. Breathe out. Then slowly bring the leg back down. Everything should be done very slowly. Don't rush into any posture. Be very mindful of all your movements. Now breathe in again, grabbing your toes. Remember, this leg can come back more. You want to rotate it around. Bring this hand down. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Stretch into it. Breathe in. And breathe out. Then bring it around. Change your hands. Breathe in. And breathe out. Keeping the back erect. Keep your balance. Breathe in. Straighten it up. Breathe in. Breathe out. Stretch. Bring in. Breathe in again. Breathe in. And bring it up as high as you can. And breathe out. Then bring it down.
As I said, I'm not gonna do the head over, the leg over the head. Alright, so breathe in here again. The right hand now is gonna go into the bottom. And we're gonna pull with the right hand on the left leg. Relax, breathe in. And breathe out. One more, breathe in. And breathe out. Hold on 1 minute. Forgive myself. My granddaughter and her mom just got here. Guess she did something. She in there crying. All right, but that after that one, where was we at? We stretched all that. Wait, this way. Yeah. So after we done that, we come up. Bring both feet out. Cross them, or you can put it right here like such. Bring your hand to where it's lined up. So normally after this is how, going through it the correct way. Alright, so do it from the side to where you see. Now rise up on one cheek, one gluteus maximus, the right gluteus maximus. Turn your head to where you're facing straight, that looking towards the front or the side or whatnot. So then you breathe in, breathe out, turn the head. And we're going to use our elbow against the knee to stretch. Make sure the back is erect, then your head is still up and not leaning down or to the side. Slight bend in your elbow, don't lock your elbow out, slight bend in the elbow. Keep your shoulders relaxed, breathe in, breathe out as you stretch into the knee. Breathe in and breathe out. Keeping the foot and the leg, this leg relaxed. Don't have it tightened up or nothing. Just keep it relaxed. And breathe out, and stretching in the hips. Do this 3 times. Breathe in, breathe out. Then you're going to float the hand over, moving the foot with the hand. And we just switch up sides. This way. Hand moves the foot. Relax the foot. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Get comfortable and breathe out. Make sure everything's lined up. The toe with the hand, the knee, and the shoulder. Breathe in and move this elbow into the knee. Breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. On the last one, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Move the hand, move the foot with the hand, and come back to center. This will be the last one right here. So you breathe in here. Go forward. Breathe in. Go forward. Breathe in.
Breathe out as you go forward. Breathe in and breathe out. Once again, breathe in. Come up. Stretching the shoulders, forearms, hands, fingers, while pulling on the toes, pulling on the feet. Breathe in and breathe out as you go back down. Then relax, breathing out. So that's forming the body, that's creation. Transitioning into the body. So all the legs and everything, you know, one leg coming out the egg of creation, the other leg coming out the egg of creation, bam, 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 bam. Then, voila, you're on the cross, the physical cross. Then we go into another round of the transition into asha. That's going to be in a few weeks. Just, you know, play with that for a couple of days. See what it like, you know what I'm saying, if you like it or not, you know, you can return it to sender. It's all good. You know, it's Christmas. It's a gift. You have the receipt, hopefully. No, just messing with you. But, so that's the third rendition. The third part of Gung work, you know what I'm saying? So these things that I talk about, you know, all of it's the same. Ain't that? I keep instilling it in my children, you know, ain't nothing different. Everything's the same. If they try to complain about, you know, like school, or they try to complain about learning new things or doing new things, I try to inform them that it's no difference in this class or this application, you know, than it was in this other room or this other thing that you was doing. All of it's the same. We can't look, if we look at it like it's different, it make it difficult. You know what I'm saying? But if we look at it like, okay, that's A, that's what A, B, C is, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Oh, okay. So if I look at the way that we learn or whatever we're doing in life, the same way each time, there is nothing that's going to surprise or compromise my growth and integrity. All right. Yeah. So yeah, that is where we are with the Christmas tree. You know what I'm saying, as well as with where we are with okay, that ain't on there no more. That's funny. Hey. With the meditate. I mean see that right there's the Gale pose. We did that last, but that's where we are with that as well. And so shoe right here. That's when we came up off of the we was doing the noon pose, where we had the legs, everything open, or the childbirth, you know what I'm saying, one of the first poses, first postures. Then we went into shoe, where the hands were raising up at the top. We'll go back over it again, but that was on give thanks as well. And then we went into the wheel, the mountain, newt right here, or the wheel is the one that's backwards, back bend. So that's where we are now. Right here was the last one we did with Geb and the earth being formulated, the egg creation coming into fruition and growth. We'll go over the next ones next week, or a couple of weeks out. Like I said, I'm not going to put a stamp on there. I got a new job too. It's a weekend job, but Saturday and Sundays, you know what I'm saying, I'm doing a little thing. Oh yeah, that'd be powerful right there, brother. 99 times first. Yeah, I got 99 problems, but yeah, that trick ain't one, you know. No doubt, yeah, but 99, that is powerful. Because you're going to stimulate a lot, and then just the momentum of the mentality that is going to bridge by way of how we sense that energy of 99 anyway. And then, you know, 9 to the 9th power of 9, you know what I'm saying, as far as being infinite and all that good. Yeah, doing that 99 times, then you're dealing with the 9, you know, like with the Siriyantra and everything, you know, the 9 different openings, or, you know, the 2 eyes, the 2 nostrils,
2 ears, the mouth, you know what I'm saying? Then the penis or the vagina and the butthole. So that's 9. But those 9 gates, yeah, then 99 is gonna stimulate and yeah, a lot more powerful. So yeah, maybe if you so it's like doing 99 jumping jacks, you know what I'm saying? You know, but yeah, do that 99 times. You're right. Yeah, that might be. It's some power within that right there. That's good input. Appreciate that, son of Haiti, the Gung of birth. All right, that's power. So we about to fade out here on Tipz and Trikz Tuesday this evening. I want to give thanks again to the fam, first world order fam, Dr. Alim and Sister Kadir, the queen, the princess out there, doing their thing as usual and always. You know, I'm gonna get back at y'all in a couple of days, more than likely. Get through these holy days, these Haru Dua. Get through these days, get thanks, and then you know come back on something else in another couple of days. Bring back these movements and everything else in between time. In the meantime, so peace and love, everyone. You know, we're gonna close out with a little music. We can play the same thing. Had nothing. Let me see if I got anything on here like that.
Yeah.
Well, that's right there, of course. But let me see something else real quick. Oh, got something on here that's worth listening to. Something old, something new, something borrowed. Something for you. Where is my joint called Hollow? Is that on here? I don't see it. Must not be here. Something on here for us to fade out with. I ain't gonna press it. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna close my eyes and I'm just press it. I might not want to do that, but I'm gonna just close my eyes and see what happens. Oh no, that ain't something. No, couldn't be open anyway. Close my eyes. It's just a beat. I guess it's gonna play.
Particularly if we know our thoughts create reality, if you have millions of people seeing these images, what they're doing to our world and our psyche.
Yeah, I made this beat though, so you know this. I see y'all in a couple of one of my productions. Black Water, the repetition. Thought to float out, I ain't wishing. I've been intermission for some time, but I'm back hitting no button. Some be splating, I'm blatant. When I do this, ain't no hesitating while they waiting. I have patience in my heart. I stay hungry, eating my gumbo like Noah's Ark. I'm a flow, but that ain't no joke. They playing out while they planning out. At the same time, I be panning out, spanning out. Who is that dude? I be gaming, but at the same time, I ain't naming. Who's aiming? So precise, I be like lights itching. Y'all niggas still bitching. I ain't switching, nothing, no for real, no frontin'. I stay leaning like I'm ghosting. I do this, no faking, for real. While we waiting, I said hating. But I'm on my skateboard skating to another level, altered dimensions.